Hello and welcome everybody here on KSB TV. You guys are probably just as excited as I am because today we have Jack Levin, the founder of Zen One, and of many other projects here in our show today. And look at this, we got two for the price of one because Zensu is here with us as well. Hi guys, how's it going?
We're very good. Very good to see you guys.
Thanks for being here with us today to explain all the technicalities about Zen, about all the other projects that we will talk about later on. But first, I want to point out you guys are in the mountains right now. You guys are on holidays and still you are doing this live stream with us. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. We just escaped the high elevation, and we were able to jump in at Starbucks. So I apologize for all the noise.
So tell us a little bit about that because people need a couple of minutes to come in anyways. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also share out the word so we can bring as many people to this stream as possible to educate the people about Zen X1, about Zen BX. There are a lot of other projects that we also want to mention today and a lot of new stuff that nobody has heard ever before. So how did it come along that you guys ended up in the mountains doing this little vacation here?
Yeah, so Zenso, he texted me and he said that it's very cold in Sweden and there's nothing to do. And I said, you should come and ski with us and go snowboarding. And within 2 weeks, he came, he bought a ticket right away. He flew to California because during the winter time, I stay in California for snowboarding and skiing. And so he came, and we were very happy to have him. And we took him to the mountains, uh, took him to the largest mountain, and dropped him to see what this Swedish guy is made of.
Yeah, it was great. A lot of adrenaline, nice slopes, super nice weather. There's a storm coming this upcoming week, so we chose the right week to be in the slopes. And Joe Blau from Phoenix Protocol happened to be there as well. It's great to meet him in person because Phoenix is on fire. Phoenix rises from the ashes of burnt Zen. So it's great to meet him, and we've been following him and working with him with Zen and Phoenix for some time. So it's great to meet him in person.
And of course, everybody is following Jack and its Twitter space and on TikTok and everywhere. So we knew that you guys are together with each other. And then we found this here. It is a napkin where you guys are drawing down some things. And we want to know more about that. This is the napkin that you guys probably did while riding down with a snowboard and the skis down the hill. And can you tell us a little bit about that? Where does this idea originated from, and what is new about this drawing here?
Okay, so you want to start?
Yeah, so we did fall deep down into the ordinal matrix, and in every we went down like super fast the slopes just so we could go up the lift and discuss the ordinals. We were staying late at night to figure out how to run Bitcoin node, because this is game changing with the ordinals as we see it, because suddenly you can get NFTs inscripted on Bitcoin, and from everywhere you look at it, it's very interesting. You have these two huge ecosystems, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which finally can communicate with each other on a technical level, but also on a community level.
So as you guys know, we have started working on our layer one project we call X1. And just about a week ago, we got exposed to the ordinal theory, which was developed by a person who was one of the original Bitcoin core designers, core programmers. His name is Casey Rudamore. And what he has done is he developed a system which is just a protocol that allows anybody with a Taproot wallet to store data up to 4 megabytes per block, which is huge for Bitcoin miners, because Bitcoin miners, they make their revenue in two ways. One way is that they mine the blocks and they get a reward. It's called a subsidy. They get 6.25 Bitcoin for every block they mine. Block is discovered every 10 minutes. But now, besides mining the blocks and validating transactions, they can also sell a portion of that block for data storage, specifically for what they call ordinals. Now, ordinals is a data storage allocation. It's 4 megabytes per block. And generally, you can store a lot of data in 4 megabytes. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are bidding to be included in the block. So what's great for miners, you can see in this chart, they're making pretty good amount of money just by selling portions of their blocks for the ordinal storage, which is pretty interesting. And overall cumulative fees in USD, you can see that just in February they made an extra $1 million selling extra block space for ordinal storage. And again, ordinal is a protocol that allows you to store arbitrary data, which could be JPG, PDF, JSON files, could be XML, pretty much anything that you can imagine, could be even text. So this is very exciting for the Bitcoin blockchain because it has now finally, after 12 years of existence, it opened up to more use on its chain, which is obviously competition to Ethereum.
And what is the big innovation that comes out of it? As I understand now, it is the first time possible to put data on the blockchain, basically, to then now participate out of it. And what are you guys doing out of this concept that is now new to Bitcoin?
So the first thing that we decided to do is, as you guys know, we have Zen on 10 different chains. So immediately that came to mind for us is that why can't we put Zen on the Bitcoin blockchain too, and see if it can survive. So we hope it will. It's going to be a little bit different in a way that it's done because there's no contract support. You need to run full Bitcoin nodes and special software to inscribe data on Bitcoin blocks. But currently, this week, what we're doing is we're working on a protocol that allows us to convert your Ethereum Zen to Bitcoin Zen. So if you have 100 million Bitcoin, if you have 100 million Ethereum Zen, you will be able to stake it into a contract and then present your Taproot wallet that lives on the Bitcoin blockchain and receive your Zen on Bitcoin, essentially on their chain, which is very, very special because think about it, guys. It's only been 2 weeks since this thing went live. So us being Zen being on the Bitcoin blockchain is very, very interesting to us. It's huge implications. Obviously, you know that Bitcoin has been around for a while. They're probably the most secure network, and they have a lot of users, and we're very excited to give Zen to the Bitcoin users.
I have some questions to that. So also hi from my side. I was a little silent in the background. I was making sure that the link gets shared in the background a little bit. And but what you are explaining is not like a like kind of a token on the Bitcoin blockchain, what I could like kind of trade on the Bitcoin blockchain. So it would be a smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain. And in order to qualify for it, you said you will need at least 100 million Xen. Would you like kind of burn into the contract in order to get your Bitcoin ordinal out of that? And then those ordinals would be traded where, or is it just like to, yeah,
yes,
I have
so
such a thing, or?
So there's two things. It's, as you know, it's very difficult to move from one blockchain to the other because you need a bridge of a sort. What's most important is the identity. The identity on the Ethereum is your Ethereum wallet, and the identity on the Bitcoin blockchain is your Taproot wallet. So what we need to do first is we need to connect those two wallets together on the Ethereum smart contract. So on the Ethereum smart contract,
just one thing, those both wallets can have the same private key, right?
No, completely different. Completely different.
Okay.
So your initial action is on Ethereum, and you need to have 100 million Zen to start, and you need to have some Ethereum fees to pay, obviously, for gas, and then you specify the destination. Destination is your Taproot Bitcoin wallet. So once you now it doesn't have to be yours; it could be your friend's, and you can say, I want my friend on Bitcoin to receive my Zen. And the smart contract will receive your Zen, it will receive your friends or any third-party Bitcoin address, and our system will execute the transmission and encoding of the Ethereum Zen. It will lock it up on the Ethereum side and will create it on the Bitcoin side for you to receive it. Now, when it comes to trading, actually, there is a possibility to trade it right now. People are doing OTC trades on Discord servers. They can trade their ordinals for satoshis. For example, CryptoPunks or ordinal punks are now available. People are trading them. Some people are burning in their apes, like Zensu. I think he burned some of his NFTs on the BTC. And if you have a demand to buy it, then you can do an OTC swap where you get the Satoshi, so you get your Bitcoin, and you will actually be able to do a trade like that. Now, I will tell you guys that what a lot of people do not know is that Bitcoin blockchain has a lot of layer 2 solutions. It has one solution called Stacks. It's an executive layer that has its own language that settles all of the transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain itself. So Bitcoin blockchain does not do execution, but Stacks is kind of like similar to Optimism in Arbitrum for Ethereum that does all the work in heavy lifting when it comes to logic. So there's many ways to do trades, and more people are getting excited developing decentralized marketplaces for Bitcoin because now they finally have more things to trade besides Bitcoin.
All right.
That sounds awesome. And I mean, the thing why I'm most excited about it is the exposure which it brings to Xen, and also that it's burning Xen. You know, so like the more Xen gets burned, the better it should be. You know, for the
Yes.
for the price.
So
Actually.
just to give you a little bit more details how Zen is used, it will be staked, which it actually does burn, but it's reversible burn. It allows you to receive your Zen back at the end of the maturity period, which is very similar to HEX stake, because when you stake HEX, it also gets burned, and then at the end you will receive it. So the way that it works with the Bitcoin transmission is that you will stake your Zen. It's going to get locked up in this what we call kind of like a liquidity pool, and you transfer this economic energy to Bitcoin, and you can sell your Zen on the Bitcoin network, maybe for more money potentially if there's demand. And the new buyer on the Bitcoin chain would then convert back from Bitcoin back to Ethereum and retrieve the Zen that was staked originally. So it works
So in
both
the
ways.
case, so in the case of you bringing Xen to Bitcoin, you're essentially just bringing like a part of the Ethereum Xen to the Bitcoin network.
Yes,
Am I getting that correctly?
It's like a mirror. It's a mirror. We're mirroring what you have had on Ethereum and transmitting the same amounts to the Bitcoin.
So kind of the same what Ethereum and Polygon is making in between each other. So like the Ethereum which are like locked in the bridge of the Polygon.
Yes,
bridge.
it's very similar to USDC in any stable coin. For example, you can move USDC from Ethereum to Polygon and back, and one side locks it, the other side mints it, and you can go backwards too. So it's a very similar infrastructure. Now the way that it works on the back end is that we need to run a cluster, which is many servers of Bitcoin nodes that will run inscription, because you cannot use one. And let me explain why you cannot use one. Bitcoin blocks are produced every 10 minutes. If you have a lot of demand and you have, let's say, 100 people inscribing at the same time, you can only, one node can only do one inscription at a time with the existing software. So you need to run a lot of virtual nodes and share the instance of the blockchain across virtual nodes to be able to sustain the load. Because otherwise it's just not going to work. And obviously this is because Bitcoin blockchain has never been really designed for multi-user applications besides transactions, wallet to wallet. So it's a little bit different. Yeah. So we'll have to have a lot of virtual wallets that are sitting on virtual machines, inscribing data from many, many users that are coming from Ethereum. So that is where the technical challenge lies.
All right. So if the guys in the chat have any more questions to Ordinals, please feel free to ask them. My last question to that would be when you guys are thinking of starting, you know, like when do you think that you have a bunch of nodes ready?
So we have one node running, and it's running pretty well. We found some bugs with the Ordinal software, and we actually were able to fix them. So we're helping the Ordinal team to be better. It's really easy to run many nodes, but what we need to design is the Ethereum side, because Ethereum side is will have most of its logic because it allows for the smart contracts to exist. And then have the virtual nodes talk to Ethereum across the RPC bridge, which could be Infura, Alchemy, or Quick nodes, and connected to our new software that's running full nodes on the Bitcoin side. So we're essentially running software for both elements of this kind of like bridged blockchains. So it's very interesting and it's very exciting. Yeah, go ahead.
When we are talking about the smart contract on the Ethereum chain, this will be a real smart contract, so without admin keys. So at first you need to determine like all the functions and calculations the smart contract needs to do, and then audit, and then would be the start of it, or anything different.
So the good news is that it's the same smart contract staking function that we've been using for Zen, so nothing is changing there.
We could use the same staking NFT contract code.
Yeah,
so allows you to do.
So whatever exists on the chain today, we can reuse. We just add extra features, like for example, the destination taproot wallet, and that's all that's needed. And the logic for unlocking and locking, staking and unstaking, burning and unburning is all the same, already been done within Zen. That's immutable. Nothing needs to be changed.
So this was our segment here about the ordinals, and people in the chat already have a couple of questions, but let me read this really quick here. Thank you, Crypto Profeta, 11 euros. Thank you so much. This will definitely go into the million push tour right away. Keep on doing what you're doing, KSB TV, and please ask Jack when Lambo.
When Lambo. Well, do you think Lambo will be okay in the snow, Zensu?
I'm more of a Jeep.
Euros, no?
The
Lambo Urus, no? That would be like a 4-wheel drive with
Urus,
big
Urus,
snow
but
tires.
that's for the old. It's for the old people. You know.
So we were talking about the ordinals, and X Hodl is saying that sounds like a bridge. Will there be admin keys for that?
So when it comes to software design outside of smart contracts, of course you have access, because I mean, how else can you upgrade your software and make it better? But it goes beyond the aspect of the admin keys for your money. So your money is safe. It is still your money. Nothing's changing. We're using the contract. But the bridging function is the one that we need to continuously innovate with, because likely the first version is going to be barely working, and then the next version will be much better, and we need to innovate. It's not all done on the blockchain. A lot of it is done on the Linux servers in the virtual cloud, like for example GCP or AWS. So it's a completely separate way to think about it. It has nothing to do with the economics, more like the execution.
And then the next question here from JZ Hexing. Jack, will each of the ordinals have the same Zen value fungibility?
So what's interesting, like with ordinals, the revolutionary thing is that ordinals are serial numbers for Satoshi. So what you have to understand is when it comes to NFTs, an NFT needs to be attached to something on chain. So an NFT needs to have an owner and it needs to be transferred for definition. So for that you need identifiers. This is what the ordinals are bringing to the table, because ordinary can function as an identifier for this. Bitcoin, doesn't have any stable identifiers native because they are doing UTXO for balancing the ledgers, whereas Ethereum has the account. So the way it would work, like how do you set up these NFTs? Like what are the opportunities that you can make with them? They sort of can act as both an NFT on the Bitcoin side, but also some sort of fungible token NFT on the Bitcoin side. So we are thinking how to construct this to get the optimal game theory to perhaps include both.
So one of the things that I want to add is that the first 10,000 ordinals from Zen are going to be limited and rare and interesting and special. So those are the collectible. So up to 10,000, whoever gets them first, they're going to be early in the game. They get to keep them forever. Likely, regardless of how much Zen is inscribed on them, they'll have more value. It's like renting a very large, interesting villa. There's pools everywhere, and it's always summer, and jet skis are free, and it's party time all the time, right? So that's the first 10,000 ordinals. Now everything after 10,000 is the functional common ordinals. They can be used for trading. So the first 10,000 is for collecting, and the others are for trading. Like for example, you should be able to buy things on Bitcoin in Bitcoin ecosystem with the common ordinals. What we're trying to do is we're trying to introduce another type of currency on the Bitcoin blockchain, because you have your Satoshis, and now you will have your Zen in the form of ordinals that you can also trade with. So that is what we're excited about. And there's nothing wrong with using Satoshis. We want people to learn about blockchain. We want them to understand how to use Bitcoin wallets, how many Satoshis in one Bitcoin, get exposed to the stability of BTC price and value, and also do something interesting with it, like take your Satoshis, buy an ordinal, or take your ordinal and trade it for even more Satoshis. That sort of thing is we're very excited about. So first we're working on a bridge, and then we will be working on the execution layer that will start giving us ability to create DeFi apps on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
So this was our segment about ordinals. So the next thing that KSB TV, Lion was really excited about was the Zen NFTs. This was something that we were not able to discuss the last time when we had Jack on the show. So let's bring the screen share up here. And I already went to Zen Turbo here to the Zen NFTs, and I brought up this here, for example. Let's go through that. Here the unicorn, for example.
I mean, I guess like what NFTs there are, people already know. The part of what I would like to talk about is a bit the staking NFTs, because if you go to xen.network, you can bring that up a bit if you want to. Then you also have like the option to stake a Xen NFT, right? But I guess it's only possible like if you mint a new one, and like in the minting process you're performing the staking at once, or can I also take like old Xen NFTs for staking right now?
So you cannot stake old Zen NFTs. However, you can take your Zen and stake it for 1,000 days, and that will mint you the Zen NFT. So that allows you to trade your staked Zen amount with APY on NFT marketplace. So it allows your stakes to be liquid. So if you need to raise money for whatever reason, you can simply go to OpenSea and put your stake for sale. So if you click on Zen NFTs right now, there's a tab called staking. So click there, and from here click mint your Zen on the right side up. Yeah, click here. So obviously you need to obtain some Zen, and if once you have it, you can click to mint, and that will issue an NFT. And by the way, guys, we can send you some X1 XN tokens, and you can do it all for free without gas, and just play with it if you want to.
We'd definitely love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me show you how we can do that. So go back to the front page, and then scroll down. X1 Devnet. So click on it. And this will tell you MetaMask to accept the new RPC.
Yep, I'm doing.
Okay, so
yeah, I guess you already did it once before. Yeah.
Right, and what we need to do now is get maybe send us a private message with your wallet address, and we'll send you some XN. And you can do all kinds of things with X1 right now. So Zensu will log into his.
One side question here. So X1 is like the name of the new chain, and XN will be the name of the coin there. So that's not like two different things. It's the same thing, but just like the name of the coin.
Same thing. The coin is XN, and the chain is called X1.
So look to the right in the private chat. There is the address that you can send X1 to.
Okay, we see it. Let's see if Zensu can send you a nice juicy set of XN. So he's sending it right now.
There will be like 1 billion coins, right? Are you sending 900 million now?
All of it. We're sending it all to you.
They're very valuable.
David, you're going to be rich out of X1 before you're getting HEX to $7. What do you say to that?
That's right.
I know that Devnet means testnet, right? So
if you minted as NFT, you get these extra one.
I'm sure you know if sorry, go ahead.
You get these tokens airdrop. So this is Devnet tokens. They have no value. Once we go into
yeah, this is our Devnet. So guys, go ahead and refresh the page. You should be able to get some XN tokens right now.
I have the XN token in my wallet already. It just doesn't show up here. Is it supposed to say this here?
Supposed to, yeah.
In my wallet, I already see it though.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and click on Zen NFT. Let's see if it works.
But that should be fine, right? Because on the X1 Devnet, he still has no XEN. So that's why it's like XEN 0, right?
So on mint free Zen?
Mint Zen NFT.
Yeah.
And
then
now
you have the X1, and you need the X1 in order to mint the NFT, right?
You need XN. So click on staking. And then click mint. You know, maybe the token you sent was not XN, maybe it was something else. Actually, here's what we can do. We can look at activity on our side and look at the block explorer. We definitely did send it to you. So for some reason, your browser is not reading 100 XN that we gave you.
Well, I guess it is because it's not connected to the site. It should do that right now. I think it was my
Yeah.
You
need to
refresh
connect
again.
It. Yeah, connect it to the. Okay. Yeah. Do you see it now?
Yeah. So we have max 100. This is whatever I have, I guess.
That is days. That is not the staking Zen, or not the staking NFT. That is minting NFT. So you need to go back to staking. But anyway, the top on the site should show 100 Zen. Strange, why it's not showing it? Is this wallet is the same to something? No, we're checking on our side if it came to you. Why don't you send them this link, Zen, so they can see it and confirm it. So copy this URL and send it to the private chat. Okay, we're sending you a confirmation link that you can actually see it. Okay, so click on that link and see if it's the same ID. Should be.
78cc, and that's exactly what is connected here.
Yeah. So maybe some sort of a bug still. But anyway,
78cc, yeah, I see the 100 Zen XN token, and there's also this.
Guys, I know what's happening. We've been working so hard, we completely forgot about it. So here's the thing. You do not have any Zen because you haven't minted any, but you have XN, clearly. So why don't we mint the first NFT and see if it works? So
yeah, you need to go to minting, not this mint. So to
go to this NFT. Go to this NFT.
Yeah, go to the NFT.
NFT, yeah, and click on mint NFT. Yeah, mint NFT. Right here. Change this to 1 day. Actually, VMU can stay 100. That's okay. Now change it to 1 day by clicking on the term. So click on the little clock.
On the
clock.
Yeah, and change 413 to 1 day. And then rather than choose the category collector. Yes, and go ahead and mint. So what's happening now is you're spending XN, and you will get Zen tomorrow. But we're gonna see right away, like if this will work.
Yeah.
So right now,
confirmed in my MetaMask.
Okay, and it should actually execute and create the new NFT for yourself. Okay, so it's successful. So there it is, and you can choose a bigger view. So click on right there. Top right next to the mint, there's a view change. Yeah, in here. So you can see that this is your first NFT that you have made. Tomorrow, it will actually produce Zen for you that you can stake, because you didn't have any Zen. We couldn't stake anything. By the way, Zen, so do you have any Zen on X1? We're gonna check. Maybe we can send you some Zen too.
Awesome.
No, he does. Go to assets. No Zen. He's checking his other wallets. Nope. No. Oh, well, I know what you guys can do. They can do a liquid swap. Do you have a URL for a swap? So we're gonna find the URL, and you can go to the DEX on the X1 and swap some XN for Zen, and then you can stake it.
Yeah, and meanwhile, while we are sending that, because as you are saying, the decentralized exchange on X1, I would have like some questions in regards to that as well, because last time we spoke about it, you were saying that you would love to implement a decentralized exchange which enables cross-chain swap, like basically instant. And what's the news on that?
So we're trying to engage with Stargate, and Stargate presents kind of an alternative bridging solution that they call atomic swaps. It works a little bit different than the rest of the bridges. All other traditional bridges are very hackable, and they're very slow. Where Stargate, I would say, is almost instant. So that is one possibility. The other possibility is that we actually look at this target design and make our own. It's actually not very hard to do. We can run event listeners on different chains and allow for the atomic swaps done in a very, very similar to the way how Stargate does it. So that is still in the works. And it's obviously going to come probably before we launch because we want the chain to be connected.
But that would mean, so if that that exists with the launch of X1, that for example the Bitcoin ordinals could be traded on X1, the Ethereum Xen can be traded on X1, the fork on Pulse chain can be traded on X1, then like Polygon
Yeah.
Xen can be traded on X1, right?
Yes, so what we want to do is ultimately we want X1 to become an execution layer for all of the chains, including Bitcoin. So we're especially excited about Bitcoin because there's so many users in Bitcoin right now and they're hungry for DeFi. And we want to offer them DeFi that's done well in a proper manner and safe, and so that they can actually get more value from their Satoshis. Because guys, if you think about it, if you're a Bitcoin user, very likely you're storing your Bitcoin on a centralized exchange. You're not holding it in your wallet because it's kind of useless. Because if I want to send some Bitcoin to you, it will take almost an hour of 6 confirmations to happen, and only then you actually get it. And so a lot of people do not ever hold their Bitcoin. They're just holding it as an investment on some sort of centralized exchange. So we would like people to move away from the centralized exchanges, go into their wallets, their hardware wallets, and make their wallets interesting and exciting, and actually be able to trade their Satoshis for something other than Bitcoin, or other than just exchange between wallets. So this is the holy grail on the Bitcoin blockchain. And of course, the Bitcoin guys, there's two camps. One of them are the Bitcoin maxis, they're purists. They don't want anything except Bitcoin, anything besides Satoshis. They just want it for transactions for Bitcoin only. They think everything else is garbage. And then there is another camp. I think that camp is called Counterparty. And that camp, they say that we need new innovation, we need new things, we need tokens, we need NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain so that people actually find Bitcoin more exciting and more interesting. So we are in the camp of, I guess, Counterparty, because we want more people to use cryptocurrencies anywhere. It doesn't matter what chain you're on. If you choose to be on Phantom, great. Choose to be on Pulse chain, great. Choose to be on Bitcoin, awesome. We just want to write solutions and software and make those things more useful to the general population.
And as I have understood, this is a new thing to do. The maximalism all over the world is falling apart, not only in the Bitcoin camp, right? It's a new thing for the Bitcoin people that now innovation is coming to their chain, and the alternative that you are providing is like helping them out a lot. So I think you're doing a great job here.
Yeah. And you know what?
Thank you.
And you know what's exciting? Maybe we can wrap HEX into Bitcoin. So amazing. Maybe we can build a solution
that you mean like that we can wrap it into ordinal, right? So and then it would be better to not just wrap HEX into that. It would be better to wrap like T-shares into that, right? Because in your case, you're wrapping like staked Xen into that. Yeah, maybe you can like wrap staked into that.
I think the staked T-share is possible to wrap if it's portable, like if it's under Hedron. So Hedron is a portable T-share. So if we can make Hedron wrapped into an ordinal on Bitcoin, then you can say, hey, this is awesome. I have an inscription permanent on a Bitcoin blockchain, and I own a bunch of Hedron, and I own a bunch of HEX underneath, and it lives on Bitcoin, and I can trade with the Bitcoin ecosystem. So And it usually, like you guys remember how Bitcoin can be wrapped on Ethereum. So it goes from the Bitcoin chain to the Ethereum, and they put a little W in the front. So that is one way that it used to be, but now it can go the other way too.
Mm-hmm.
So we left off the
Definitely
topic
nice.
when we were talking about Zen NFTs, and did we finish up on that already, or is there something else that we need to discuss?
No, I guess that was understandable. We showed that with a screen share as well. Thanks for that. Thanks for the sending. The next thing, like to end like the topic about Xen. I know it's like a back and forth between the new chain and Xen because it's all interacted. But to stay with the Xen stuff, I would like to talk with the liquidity providing NFTs. What is
Yeah.
also like in the making, and what is this about, and why should we bother with that, and when?
Yeah, so this is a new idea that we have had, and here's what we want. We want more buy side liquidity on the Zen side, but also make it so that it's very very interesting and lucrative for people to do. And specifically, we want to have people take their Ethereum to the Uniswap position. Now, a lot of people do not even understand how Uniswap works. So the way that we are planning to do this is that we think that this NFT can provide tradability to your Uniswap position that will also help Zen to have more liquidity on the buy side with Ethereum. Now, when I say buy side, it doesn't mean that if Zen drops 5%, you buy the whole thing, because the Uniswap V3 allows you to set up a range up to 99% below Zen spot price right now. Literally, you can say 8 zeros and 1 is your bottom, which means your liquidity pool can live for a very long time. It can generate a lot of fees for a very long time, and it can also provide liquidity to the Uniswap position. And what's really makes it exciting is that you can buy and sell liquidities NFTs on the OpenSea, and at the same time you can get a lot of fees. And of course, you will get XN and X1 airdrops if you create a position like that. And so, but the number one thing that I'm excited personally about is that a lot of people do not understand the Uniswap, and this is how we can teach them what Uniswap is all about by presenting them with an instrument that is portable and can be either sold, purchased, minted, or created, and also generates a lot of yield.
I mean,
Great.
Uniswap
One
and
question.
OpenSea are the
Yeah.
two biggest platforms on Ethereum, so it only makes sense for us to create something that can merge these two.
Well, what this tool really is for me is it is an incentive to really look into liquidity providing. And now when I'm a liquidity provider, I'm getting X1, right, on another chain. So this
Yes.
is really something how you are able to bring the people into the system and make them really learn about it, because this is so often what gets lost there. People are doing it, but they really do not understand how does a liquidity pool work, how does a price form, for example, and so on. So I thought this was really exciting. And I remember when we were talking with our team about this specific graph for the first time, we had the question, what happens when you put up a liquidity position, but it actually never gets filled? So the price never goes down to this range and never gets filled. What happens in this case?
Well, what happens in this case is just trades within the range. So let's say that it goes down one half into the buy side. It's actually the ideal situation because you will get the most yield when there's a lot of trades happening inside the range. It doesn't ever need to reach the bottom. In fact, it's never a good idea to set your Uniswap V3 positions in a very, very narrow range, because what happens is all of your ETH will be gone, and it will buy and execute the buy of Zen with a very narrow value, so to speak. But you want the large value because you want a lot more volume within your range to run the trades. Every trade will make you up to 1% from both sides, which is amazing because it's a true reflective yield from the trading activity within the Uniswap pool.
And you can trade the position since it's NFT.
Yeah. So for example, you can ladder your positions. You can say I want 5 ETH within this range, another 5 ETH a little bit lower, and 5 ETH even lower. And so and then you can say, well, I'm really bored with one position. I want to sell it. And what you can do is just go to Uniswap and put it up for sale and see if somebody decides to buy it from you.
Jack, let me
Yeah.
ask you this
One
question.
question to that. Let me ask me the next one, please. There on the picture there is like a default 50% below the current Xen price in ETH. So is that still a case that I cannot choose, like for example, that I want to start my range directly under the price? Let's say like
So when we
10x
say
up to 10x on under the price, or will it always be like 50% at the starting range?
So when we say a default, we actually mean it's as a proposal. So like in other words, if you do not make any changes, it's going to be defaulting to 50%. But you can say 5% below or 99% below if you wanted to. Now, if you choose 99% below,
no,
then
I understood it incorrectly. All right, yeah. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
user can like still do what he wants to do. So he can still like go directly under the price. He can go like
Yeah.
from directly minus 20%, from directly minus 99%, whatever he wants to. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You can adjust your range however you like.
What do you think are good ranges? Because I made the experience that if I do a narrow range, but the price is still like in the narrow range, it's like amplifying my fees. You get like more fees for doing it.
It is certainly is true. If you're lucky, you can choose a narrow range. But in my experience so far, the range that I like to choose is about 30%. So 1% under the spot price, up to 30% below. For depending on what kind of crypto you're trading, if it's has medium type of volatility and a lot of volume, I would say it may drop 30%. It may not, but 30% is a good delta for safety, so that you can capture most of the range. If you choose, let's say, 5% range, it's obviously crypto can move like that in 1 hour, and so if it moves,
No,
yeah. So it's
I meant like 30% when I say narrow range, like, because like sometimes sometimes it's even better like to get like a 10x range, like in a price range between $1 and $10, for example, not only like 1 to 130.
Yeah, so I think what we will do with the UI is we will basically say, if you are a conservative investor or conservative trader, you should select the highest range possible, because it is unlikely that you will lose all of your ETH when something drops 90%. If you're a more speculative investor, you can choose a narrower range like 20%. But then the other component for this NFT is time. Now, remember, when you create the liquidity position, you have to specify the time and days. If you specify 1,000 days, it must exist for 1,000 days. You cannot close it, because that is one thing that you trade. You trade the I guess delayed gratification of closing your pool. Now, you can specify 7 days if you're very conservative. Right. So the idea is that you want to balance the delta of time with your range based on your investing preference. So if the time is maximum, which is 1,000 days, obviously you want your range to be the maximum too, because you want to capture all possibilities within that time. If your range is
but
time range,
you won't, right? But I cannot like capture all the possibilities, because let's say I do that now, and the Xen price is from here like having its all-time low and just trade above the current price, then my position will just never get any fees, right?
You may be unlucky. Yes, it may bounce off your top range, and then it will not make any fees. However, the good news that Ethereum may rally too, and it's locked, and you can't sell it, and so you get to win on Ethereum going 10x. So
That's true.
so that's okay too.
And the range, when I put USDC in it, then I see the range like in USDC terms, right? It's not like that I still need to set the range in Ethereum.
So we're strongly considering just using Ethereum as the unit of measure, because we do not want USDC. I personally do not like USDC being so centralized and having admin keys. So we may have a translation to dollars, but I don't think we will have USDC as an option. Because imagine locking in your USDC for a year, and then they decide that okay, USDC is over because CBDCs are coming, and they get canceled, and you have something that's locked and you cannot exchange it. So that would be really bad. I have a lot more trust to Ethereum than USDC personally.
Yeah,
So
I get that, and it's definitely like if you think that Ethereum will do good in the next coming bull run, what I personally think, so it's definitely not a bad thing if you connect your coin's liquidity to the liquidity of ETH.
Yes, personally, my dry powder is all in Ethereum. I do not have any stable coins because I don't consider them to be stable.
Well, with stable coins, there comes the loss of 100% of your stack if you have them in there, right? Like governments are approaching them and everybody is scared right now, but there's nothing we want to talk about this stream. We want to talk about something really interesting. You were deploying X1 on Polygon, for example, and that then already broke down the blockchain. So can you maybe explain what happened here exactly with Polygon and Matic?
Yeah, something terrible happens. So this is what happens. Polygon does have an implementation of EIP 1559, which allows the blocks to adjust the gas prices very, very rapidly. Now, minting on Polygon is 5 cents per mint, and that's with 200 going. What happened with this situation is that so many people jumped into Zen NFTs. They were paying not 200 Gwei, but 2,000 Gwei. 2,000. And 2,000 Gwei is 50 cents. It's still not a lot of money because you go from 5 to 50, it's 10x, but it's only 50 cents. And so what happened is that there was a spike in gas fees, and for some reason it broke in Fura. So in Fura, and I actually tweeted about it, they admitted to be broken with Polygon. And I think what really happened is Polygon gas jumped so high, the MetaMasks and other wallets connected to Infura were not getting correct gas estimations. And a lot of people submitted their transactions with very, very low gas, and they got discarded. And it's not people's fault. It was the fault of the system that could not catch up with the gas spike in time. So that's what happened to Polygon, because Polygon is so inexpensive. It caused a lot of people to overprice the gas transaction, gas with their transactions, and then Fura could not catch up. And I actually tested that case. I've been playing with MetaMask, and I would specify aggressive transactions. And my transactions would come at 500 Gwei when the network was showing 3,000 Gwei. So it was not in sync and it causing problems.
I believe this was not the only blockchain that had trouble handling all of that. I think there was another one as well. But can you maybe explain, like, what are some benefits and some pros for having Zen or X1, on those blockchains and having them like battle tested?
No. Don't please don't confuse it right now. Yeah, it's not like Zen is on very different blockchains, and there is only one X1. The thing what you have in our notes is as the X1 Devnet is also a fork from Polygon, from Matic, right? And the question what we have here is if you are doing like any kind of exchange of changes to the X1 code in order that those things cannot happen on the X1 blockchain.
So let me address this real quick. The Polygon version that we're using is not the production Polygon version. It's called Polygon Edge. They do not have gas management system with AIP 1559 implemented. So when we forked Polygon Edge, we implemented our own gas management system, which allows for much smoother transactions and gas movement based on the demand. So 1559 really works great for Ethereum. It doesn't work great for other chains that have a very spiky demand and low priced tokens like Matic. So really, I can say for certain that 1559 for Matic doesn't work. So what we're doing is for X1, we're developing our own version of 1559 that has a gas management system according to the demand that we expect for Zen. So now, in other words, what is the reason to raise the gas prices? Especially when you go from 5 cents to 50 cents, the economic energy that you're spending is not consequential to the degens that are jumping in. If it was $50 or $100 per transaction, I could understand it. But between 5 and 50 cents makes no sense. So what's happening is that they're mismanaging their hardware and software infrastructure and ability to move gas prices connected to the dollar spent. So what we're going to do, we're going to have very low gas prices, not move the gas price so much, because likely we're not going to have a chain very loaded anyway, and our block times is 1 second, which is twice as fast as Polygon. Polygon has 2-second block times. We will have less nodes, not 100 nodes like Polygon, and of course it requires a different version of gas management software. So very likely that we'll be able to have better performance and less of an issue that we have seen on Polygon.
Thanks for the answer. Awesome. Yeah, so as we are at X1 already, I would like to speak about the supply allocation of X1. So like because what I know, it will be a fixed total supply, right, of 1 billion coins.
1 billion.
Yeah. And then let's speak about like how this 1 billion will be given out. David, if you want to, can you screen share your screen and bring up or no, I'm sorry, I have that here that we can.
But I have a question here from the chat, which is how came you up with the number of 1 billion? Because it looks so small when people get an airdrop of 1 token only.
So airdrop schedule hasn't been decided for the X1. I mean, currently XN on the Devnet is completely arbitrary. I mean, we do have a schedule, but it's not going to be the same. So potentially the numbers don't matter. As you can imagine, having 1 billion or having 100 billion, the only thing that matters is the number of users and the utility. If you don't have the number of users or the utility, it doesn't matter whether you have 1 million, 1 billion, or 100 billion. So it's all really supply and demand. But the zeros at the end of after the 1, who cares? So it doesn't matter. But currently we're not committing to 1 billion. We just said that we think it should be 1 billion, but it could be 10, could be 100. But we think it's probably going to be 1 billion.
Okay, and if you want to, David, can you bring up like my screen share? Because there I would have this this graphic. I hope it's big enough already. And yeah, if we can go over that a little bit, because it's like 50% of the total supply will be burned quarterly. I don't know, like if you just put 50% of the total supply to one address, why even bother to burn that quarterly, or why even bother to create that in the first place?
So here's why this is important. We're actually following a BNB model that worked really well. And if you look at the bear market we're in today, BNB is one of the best performers in the bear market. It did not drop 80%, it only dropped 50%, which is awesome, considering the relative drops. Now, the reason why we want to do quarterly burns is we want investors into X1, XN token to feel like their token goes up in value due to the reduction of the supply. And the reduction of the supply is scheduled, it's on chain, it's visible. So when you first, let's say you buy it for $1, and then we're burning it every quarter, it's actually reducing the total supply. If the market cap stays the same, then your current holdings should increase in dollar terms. So you see what I mean? So you're coming in into 1 billion tokens, and let's say that the market cap is $1 billion, but then we burn half of it. So the value should double for you as a token holder. So that is one way to do it, one way to think about it.
And did you already define like how much of the 500 million each and every quarter? Will it be like a lot in the beginning and going down in the future? Will it be only like a few quarters, or will it be like over the course of
So
10 years? Or?
yes, we're going to follow the chain activity and the XN price. So if the chain's activity is low, then we're not going to burn as much. If the chain activity is high, we will increase our burn. So
Okay.
basically, this is why it works psychologically. Let's imagine you're a whale on XM. Now you know that there will be more burn if the chain gets more users. Now you will have now an incentive to talk to everyone on Twitter or anywhere else about your position and about X1 and how great it is, because you want more users to come. You may also invite builders to X1 to build more things so that there's more activity. The more activity we see, the more we burn. Therefore, the better it is for the investor bag in terms of the dollar value.
Mm-hmm. So, but in actually, it will be just one wallet address who holds in the beginning 50% of the supply and is just choosing on various metrics of how much
Yeah.
X1 it will burn in this quarter. Will it always be like a fixed date, like the end of every quarter, or like within the quarter on at whatever point of time?
So technically, it doesn't need to be on a particular date. It could be every day,
That's true.
linked to the chain's activity. So there's no reason why that shouldn't be the case. So you can
Okay,
think
so
of it
it
as
might not be like just a one quarterly event. It might be a daily event or what, or it
it could
might be
be.
a collection of daily burns, and then once per quarter this amount gets burned or something like that.
I would say daily could be exciting because it actually captures the activity of the chain every day. And it also
Mm-hmm.
makes you as a token holder excited to see what exactly is happening and how much supply has been reduced. So rather than tweeting once a quarter, you can have people tweet every day. Look at that burn, how great it is. You know, everybody is on X1 chain and the activity is burning tokens. So it will invite more and more people to buy it essentially.
All right. So the next 25% I will keep like for the end. Let's go like to the end here. The 5%, 50 million X1 tokens allocated to venture capitalists and investors as warrants.
Right.
Yeah, would you like to give us some expectations about it?
Expectations. Okay. So yes, with me, you can have all the expectations you want because I'm not worried.
Yay.
So 50 million is 5% of 1 billion. The idea here is that we want to invite angel investors, which is people who want to take on the risk and help us to design X1 to be amazing and bring in partners and basically help us grow. And it's a very, very low amount. It's only 5%. Those people will get warrants that will allow them to purchase their tokens in the future dates. And the purchase price likely will be set like something at $1. So we can say that our capitalization is $1 billion. If you like to invest and you like to get your contracts done, your warrants to give you the right to buy it in the future for $1, by all means you can contribute. The other thing is, unlike we have seen the money being raised for sacrifices and whatnot in the crypto industry, this is going to be accredited investors only, specifically to work with the United States law, where the people are protected from a perspective of they actually have to have a designation of an accredited investor, which means $1 million liquid or more. We don't want to obviously violate the law and have the X1 token to be treated as a security. It doesn't make any sense to do it. And obviously, because it's used for gas, it is a utility token. It is very, very clear definition of a utility token. Ethereum has been designated the utility token, not a security, just because it's used as gas. Now, XN will be used as gas. And at the same time, we do not want to cut the corners and give it to everybody, whoever wants it. Angel investors have to be accredited, or it has to be a company. So that's kind of like what we expect to happen. And also 5% is very, very little. Those people are not going to be on the boards of the directors or steer the projects towards how they want it to be ran. So it's really going to belong to the users and to the people the way that we envision Zen to be. Now, of course, we want to have VCs and angels that understand what they're doing, because we want to leverage their knowledge and their connections. So we want to be friendly with them. So it needs to be some sort of a win-win situation. Like, we cannot say, hey, give us your money and then don't ever talk to us again. That is not what we want. We want people to be engaged, excited, work with us, and innovate with us together. So that's the goal.
Awesome, thank you for that. So then the next thing would be 20%, 200 million tokens in Xen Teams Foundation treasury. So those 200 million tokens will be used for future skiing holidays.
And Starbucks.
And Starbucks coffee. Yeah, sorry.
Yes. So when it comes to creating new technologies, one has to have a team that can afford to pay for so that they can afford to work on the project exclusively. Specifically, it doesn't need they don't have to work on other jobs and get another salary from somewhere else. So our foundation have to pay them. Obviously, that's one aspect. The other aspect is the actual infrastructure have to exist, and it costs money to run. There's also marketing expenses and various other things. So we want to run it as a company, as a real company, and the real company has expenses. And it's a good thing, because think about it. If I came to you and I said, hey, everything's going to be free and I don't have any expenses, you would say, well, you're probably lying to me, because there's no magic in the world. Everything costs something. So that is why we think that this type of allocation is fair, because we plan to bring in a lot of effort and a lot of struggle to get this amazing technology forward to the world.
Yeah, it can also help like with initial liquidity or many kinds of stuff, not only to pay skiing holidays. And now we go to the most exciting part of like the whole education allocation. That's why I kept it like for the last part here. The 250 million tokens allocated towards Xen burn auctions. Can you please explain us that?
Yeah, so this is my favorite allocation also. It's going to be amazing. And the way it works is that every day there is a release of a portion of these 250 million tokens. Now, the way that you can get it is that you have to bring your Zen and specify the amount of burn to get a share of that emission. So if emission is 1 million and you're bringing in 1 million Zen and you're the only user, then you get the whole thing. Now, if it's you, KSB Lion and A-Bit playing together, you bring 1 million, he brings 2 million, he gets 2/3, you get 1/3. If Zen Su, the big whale, comes in and he brings 1 billion Zen, and then he basically says, okay, I'm taking the 90% of it. Now, that is how the auctions work, is that whoever burns the most gets the most shares, but everybody gets something. It's not like eBay. In eBay, you just pay the highest price, you get everything. Here, you share proportional. Now, every day for 3 years, you have to do it if you want to get a maximum allocation. Yeah, every day for
So
3 years.
is it 1,000 days or 3 years, like 1,100 days?
We haven't decided exactly, but we think it's going to be 36 months. So 36 months, 30 days in a month. So I would say, I guess it's going to be 3 years. So maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit, yes.
So the biggest part goes to these auctions.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the biggest part goes to these auctions, and then there's also these airdrops, which is reflected based on activity, such as burning, rarity, liquidity, NFTs, etc.
Yeah, airdrops are very important because any time you burn Zen for any project, including Zen NFTs, including Phoenix, including DB Zen, and everything else that is created, you're earning credits towards airdrops.
And from which allocation are you taking the coins for the airdrops? Is that also like out of this 25% of the Zen burn auctions? Okay, so there will be like kind of maybe like 20% of the allocation towards this one Zen burn auction, and let's say 5% will be like general airdrops, like all the NFTs which minted some and all the other protocols and so on, and
something like that. Yes.
Okay. Where do I get more? Do I get more when I burn Xen by doing Xen NFTs, or if I wait until I can play around in those auctions?
So it's actually very interesting game theory, because when you play with the auction, you're playing against the whole population of our ecosystem. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you end up burning a lot of Zen for Zen NFTs, you're kind of locking in some sort of a credit too, and you're not really you're still competing, but it's a different type of a game because you're competing with the rest of the people that are making Zen NFTs for themselves, right? So it's different, and it's less visible, and there's less fighting going on. And of course, there's fighting for unicorns, because the unicorns have been sold and I guess minted within 2 minutes on Polygon, because people wanted something rare right away. Everything that is rare gets the most allocation, so it makes sense to not to miss the fact that, for example, this week we're going to launch on Phantom, and you want all of those unicorns because Phantom holders of unicorns will also get airdrops. So I would say it's really tricky for me to say what is the proper strategy. I would say you have to play both, but you should know that 3 years is a long time, and there may be more and more users that will be competing against you for the auctions. So I would say, however, that probably the best strategy right now is to mint Zen with as many wallets as you can for as long as you can, so 450 days, because in a year and a half, you will have so much Zen minted just with gas. You will have the biggest muscles available to you to participate in auctions. Yeah.
All right.
Because think about it, if you become a whale in a year and a half, then you have the most Zen.
So, but actually that means that especially in the very beginning of X1, there won't be much supply, because like the treasury will just like keep it as treasure, I hope, and not dump it like in the first week. Then the 5% of the venture capitalists, they are locked anyways. Then
Yeah,
the 50% is like burned, so it will never hit the market.
right.
And the allocation is coming out on a daily base for 3 years, or at least 1,000
Is-
days. And that just means that there won't be much XN in the first couple of weeks and months, I guess. Or do you already know like the metrics of this daily auction pool? So will there be like more than usual on the first day, and over time it gets less and less, which is like the total
it's
daily basket?
so it's going to be flat, and I would say you're definitely right. Uh, uh, the uh, the liquidity in the supply is going to be relatively low to begin with. But don't forget that once we launch, we will have the airdrops done instantly. So there's 5% for airdrops, which is really 10% of the allocation, because we're going to be burning the 50%. So it's 5% becomes 10. It's going to happen immediately when we launch. So that is I guess, if we go with 1 billion supply, we expect 50 million to be airdropped right away.
Yeah, I understand
So,
that. But then it might be like a really interesting play to have a lot of airdropped X1 in the beginning, as the total supply will be so low in the beginning.
yes, you are right about that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean we're trying to come up with the best solution for all the people, because we want to accommodate the minters, we want to accommodate the collectors of these NFTs. And by the way, you do not have to burn your NFT to get an airdrop. You just have to participate in the Zen ecosystem, and you don't even have to have this NFT. You can go to Phoenix and you can go to GB Zen. Just work with the other protocols too. Anything that burns and guarantees an airdrop.
And anything like on the height. So like Exonicon guarantees me 1,000, right? When I burned 10 billion.
That's just the Devnet numbers, and they are just for play right now.
Yeah.
The real calculation, which includes all of these different factors, which is kind of complex, because you have to take in consideration all the different chains, the weight, the length, the maturity, the currencies, the burns, the different products. There's a lot going into it, but we hope to formulate that equation sooner rather than later, so people can adjust accordingly their positions and strategies.
Yeah, I mean, another idea to that would be to make the airdrop just like a claim drop. You know, that the people need to actively claim something, and everything which is not claimed after a year or 2 years, you know, can just be added towards the end of the auctions.
Yeah, that's probably what we will do, because we will have some people who will never claim anything, and we do not want to waste those tokens.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. I like that segment. Avi, do you have any questions for that?
Well, I actually have a lot of questions from the chat, and I do not know how much more minutes we have with Jack and Zensu. So, KSB Line, I know we have another segment actually prepared for you here, but should we maybe go on with the chat questions so we can have the people ask all the questions that they want? What do you think? Which way should we go?
Let's definitely go with the chat right now. Let's ask the people which is on their minds right now, because the last segment we would have on our list would be the other projects which are there to burn Xen, with Nex, with Phoenix, with DBXN. And yeah, we can do like another stream for that as well. I guess we put it a lot of information to the people already. I don't know, like for how long would you like guys like to go on?
So it's not snowing yet, but it's going to start snowing soon. So maybe 10 more minutes. Well, let's take some questions,
right.
and I'd love to answer them.
So CZ Hexing is saying,
Yeah,
great
let's
stream,
take the questions.
KSBTV. Please have Jack and Zen back on soon. Just learned something new today. So here you have it, Jack. You have to come on next week because we have to talk about next about Phoenix, about DB, Zen, and so much more. But now we want to continue with our questions here from the chat. So let's start with one that we got a little bit earlier on. So
Okay.
the common coordinates have equal value. One Zen ordinal equals one Zen ordinal.
So the way that we're considering to do this is that imagine dollar bills. There is $1 bill, $5 bills, $20 bills, $50 bills, and $100 bills. So what you will be able to do with the common ordinals is to load 1 million Zen, 5 million Zen, 20 million Zen, and 100 million Zen, and 50 million Zen. And you can choose whatever you want and make as many ordinals as you like. And they're going to cost a little bit different, obviously, because different amount of Zen is staked. But ideally, the goal is to create fungibility on the BTC blockchain where you can actually trade between 1 million up to 100 million of Zen with each ordinal.
And then here, the next question, obviously the people in the chat are talking to each other as well, so we do not know the context here. Are you going to burn all your Zen? What would be a pro or a con for burning all your Zen?
Okay, so I do not have any Zen. My Zen is in the future. And I think I will probably, I'm really excited about the BTC. So, and I would, and of course, I'd love to continue to get unicorns if possible, and all of the Apex NFTs because those are rare. And this project has only been running for about 4 months. So having as NFT that signifies the beginning of the project, I think is very important and interesting collectible for the people in the future. So I think definitely what I've been doing is that I've been trying to get some collectible digital artifacts that exist on different chains. But at the same time, because I am a founder, co-founder with many other guys like with Zensu here, I'd like to obviously leave some for other people to do because I do not want to front run the game theory because since we're creating the game theory, it's almost I think bad for us to say, hey, you know, we understand the best, therefore we're gonna make the best decisions for us, so we can make the most money, right? This is not what we want. We want the mass adoption, and if we can make money with it somehow, it's going to be us being part of the ecosystem. And so we're trying to do is, and I think we had this conversation before. When we launched Zen, I did not want to claim the first rank because I am pushing the button myself. So it doesn't make any sense for me to say, oh, I claimed the first rank. I'm so great. There's no winning in being the first if you're the one that's launching the project. So I was very happy to be number 3,000 because I saw people being excited and it warmed my heart that I created something that people actually liked. And it was more of a reward for me than claiming first rank, because it doesn't take any effort to do it if I am the one who launches the contract. So taking this philosophy further, it makes sense for us to really, really hold ourselves back and not to game our own game, if you will, right? So I think that's the answer that I have.
I think that was a perfect answer. But for somebody who's new to crypto, maybe, you know, who's new to Zen, what would be a benefit to burning all your Zen, you know, or could it maybe also be beneficial to not do that?
So I think this is part of the mystery, right? If I give an answer right now and people end up burning all of their Zen, it might actually change the game. So we want people to figure out what to do themselves based on all available information so that they can play the game with their own decision and their own will. And you know how it is. A founder says something and everybody does it. It's actually not a good way to participate. I think people should have their own ideas what they want to do, and that's what makes our community so amazing.
I add to this, because people who are new coming in, seeing we are going deep into genuity in the matrix of a bunch of different stuff, because that's just what we are makers. We like to make stuff and we like to be at the cutting edge of new things happening. But Zen is the base of everything we're doing. So if you're new to Zen, you just need to study the light paper and to understand the core concept of Zen, because that's what is the building block for everything we're doing. And the game theory there has been you're incentivized in the minting formula to do max mints that will yield you Zen, and that still stands. However, Zen is the baseline horizontal scaling protocol, and everything we're building on top of that. If you have an interest in storing your value into something very rare, then unicorns is verifiably only 1 out of 100. That's a very good concept for those who are interested in NFTs and rarity. And then we have a bunch of so Zen is like the gateway into this amazing world with things that we can build with it, but we have to build it as well. So if you're interested in other tokenomics, then you have Phoenix, you have DBZen, you have Next, you have a bunch of all these other stuff that are coming that might appeal to you. So it really depends what appeals to you. Do you want the P2P? Do you want the cash? We needed this because Bitcoin didn't provide us this P2P cash. So we needed something that could function as it.
Like always, it's a really individual question if you should burn it all or if you want to keep it. I definitely understand that. Next question from Andrew here. Jack, on Devnet ratio is 20:1 for XN airdrop. When launched, will you change the ratios if gas is a lot different on BSC, for example, and Matic later on?
Yeah, the ratios will definitely be different because there's more Zen on BSC. There's even more Zen on Polygon. So we have to accommodate for the amount of efforts and dollars people spend on gas. So all of the ratios are going to be different. Ethereum obviously is the most expensive because people have spent $40 million minting Zen on Ethereum in 4 months. So that's $10 million per month. That's a lot of money. Where on BSC, it's something really, really tiny. It's like 2 million, and Polygon is something else entirely. So based on the number of users, based on the number of gas being burned, we're going to be adjusting ratios accordingly.
So I was really lucky today because I got sent 100 XN, but what is the normal way to get XN in the future?
The normal way would be is through airdrops and the auctions when we launch the auction contract. And by the way, I want to mention that the auction contract will run on Ethereum, and it can run on Ethereum even before X1 launches. So a lot of it will be treasured on Ethereum, and we will use Ethereum as a settlement layer because we understand that when X1 launches, they will have no liquidity. So we want XN to be fully liquid and available for trading on Uniswap on Ethereum first. So the contract for an auction will likely launch even before X1 launches, so that people can get the allocation for the tradable XN on Ethereum chain because it has the most users and it's the most liquid. And then you will be able to have a one-to-one conversion to X1.
Okay, and but I need to ask something here because so it will be the token traded on Ethereum, but then it will be the native token of the X1 chain as well. Is the trading on Ethereum going to stop or
it's not going to start.
Part.
So this is part of what we think is really going to be good innovation. That XN will continue to trade on Ethereum, and you will be be able to convert it to X1. So whether you have it on X1 or on Ethereum, we will have a one-to-one ratio peg set up so that you can sell your X1 or buy your X1 token on Uniswap anytime you want. So you will not need to be locked into X1 to do any trading. You can say, hey, I want to participate in this crypto economy of the X1, but I'm not ready to be a user of X1. You can still be an investor. A lot of chains have done it. For example, Matic is Wrap Matic is actually traded on Ethereum. OKX OKC token is traded on Ethereum, even though they have their own token on OKX. I know BNB used to trade and then they removed it. I think we will just continue to trade on Ethereum because that's where the liquidity is.
Yeah, but then the original token would be like on the Ethereum side, and then you're having a bridge to X1, and on X1 it would be like wrapped XN.
It's not going to be wrapped XN. It's going to be minted on X1 as a new coin, but you have to give up your Ethereum XN if you want to get it. Yeah.
So that still means like two different prices, or in arbitrage opportunities, or am I incorrect?
It all depends on the liquidity. Imagine Ethereum having 99% liquidity and XN just have 1% liquidity on X1. So the arbitrage may be juicy, but it's only 1% between 99 and 1. So Ethereum will control the price based on the volume. Based on the volume. Now, if the volume shifts to X1 in the future, likely
we want that, right? Because we want X1 to thrive, and we want that everybody can trade with nearly no fees, right?
Yes, we do. But at the same time, we want the investors from Ethereum also to be involved. So it is very likely that we're going to encourage people to maintain a position of at least 50% on Ethereum. And we want it to be pegged between the chains, because our strategy is not to take all the users from all the chains. Our strategy is to connect all the chains into a cohesive ecosystem that and give people options. So again, if you're an investor on Ethereum and you have a lot of Ether, you should be able to buy XN on Ethereum, knowing that you're participating in the innovation on X1. And of course, if X1 sucks, then it's not going to cost anything. But if it's great, then we want the Ethereum users to become investors. We do not want to say, hey, you can only be an investor if you come to X1, because this is not what we want. We want to grow together with every chain on the planet.
And earlier we were talking about expectations. So here from Web BNB, when is X1 burn scheduled to begin?
We have to launch it first.
The chain launches. No, before the chain launches, you said.
The auctions start. Now, the auctions start before the chain launches. But the burn is linked to the chain. No, the burn is linked to the chain activity. Remember, I said that X1 activity will dictate the burn. So the chain has to exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's far into the future, or is it really close? 2 weeks?
Depends on who is asking and who is saying, right? If it's our favorite hero, 2 weeks could be 2 years, right? But we say it's 2024.
All right. Next question. Will all Zen burns contribute to next airdrop burn for X1, DBX, and Zen NFT?
Yes. All Zen burn will have next airdrops and X1 airdrops.
Next question right away.
It will be a hell of a work to figure out like the correct keys for like in between the different chains, like how much XN to allocate to the burn XN from each chain, I guess. Have fun with this.
Yeah, the good news, we're still early in crypto, and there's not a million chains, but maybe like only 10.
Yeah,
it's gonna get more in the future though. So what are the airdrop allocations for all 10 chains? 70%, 30%, not sure.
Okay, so Ethereum, so think about it this way. Ethereum then activity is at $40 million gas burns. And then BSC is like 1 to 2 million. So obviously the ratio is going to be like 80% Ethereum and 20% for the rest of the chain. So it just makes it fair because people spend most of their money on Ethereum. So it just makes sense to give them more on Ethereum.
And when Phantom Zen NFTs?
He forgot to remove the H. WEN. That's the way you ask.
Yeah, normally you do that.
Yeah. So okay, but we'll answer anyway. We think this week.
Okay.
Nice.
Why mint Zen to later try and
yeah.
burn it? Why not stop minting and buy it?
Because we don't know how low it's gonna go.
So the bottom is not in yet. That's your answer here, basically, right?
So that is not my answer, but my answer will be something like this. My answer is think of Zen price as a Dutch auction. A Dutch auction starts very high, and then the price discovery eventually lands where the effort for mint is equivalent to the amount of dollars you're willing to spend today. So imagine having 100 million Zen today. How many days do you have to wait to get that? And how many dollars do you have to spend on gas? If the number is the same, then this is the bottom. If the number is not the same, then it's not the bottom.
I have something to say to that. Would you agree or disagree if somebody says that the average minting and claim cost of Xen could be something like a floor price? Because that would be like a little over 50% under the current price.
I would agree. I would agree absolutely because think about it this way. If the Zen price is high enough for the short-term minters to engage and then sell, that causes the sell pressure. However, if the price lowers low enough, the only minters that are left are long-term minters. And those guys already wait 300 days. The next step for them is not to sell, but rather to stake because they already have the practice of waiting. So why not make even more by staking? So it is very likely that as the price lowers, the short-term minters are gone and there is no more selling pressure. But I agree with you that it is very likely that the cost of the mint multiplied by the number of days, I would say the price is somewhere. But do not forget that with any financial instrument, especially crypto, and especially like a stock market, it's not about the reality. It's about the dream, expectations, future developments. That is what indicates the value, right? It's not just pure math. It's never pure tokenomics. It's about right story, right founders, the community engagement, and how excited are you? So, like for example, look at Shiba Inu, look at Floki, and look at Baby Doge. They all have weird stories that nobody really understands what they are, but the communities are very strong and they keep pushing the price to the $1 billion valuation. Now, what I say today is that Zen is worth $7 or $8 million in market cap. For a crypto project with so many users that we have, it's actually a microscopic market cap. The market cap is probably should be about 500 million, knowing that all of those things are coming. So that being the case, you can forget about the minting and you can say today it should be 500 million, knowing that the future next year is going to be a new chain, ordinals on BTC, and the whole ecosystem is going to be exploding. So that is the way that usually investors think. And they do not care about the actual DeFi aspect of the project. They care about what other people will do when they come into the project. And again, if you look at first 100 coins on the coin market cap, 80% of them don't have anything special. They've just been there early. They have an interesting story. They have interesting founders, and they have a strong community. So those are the three ingredients that we're after, and that is what will establish the market cap for us. Not the
So,
minting price or how many days you have to wait.
So one could like speculate, okay, this could be a floor price. Another one could speculate that everybody in the network at first needs to be tested and needs to be in the red zone in order to get like the short-term investors out and have like more long-term investors only. That's like another thing. And another thought, like more to the bullish side, would be, okay, I see that there is already was already more than $40 million in Ethereum used in order to mint and claim Xen. So that should be reflected in the market cap, and as the market cap is just like at 8 million right now, it should theoretically do like a 5x. So that would be like
100x.
the FOMO part, you know.
I,
Yeah,
I, I
no,
think it's
like
good.
that we are at
Yeah,
least like at the number which already got used
yeah.
for to get Xen, to mint Xen.
The interesting part about it is that if the price rallies, the short-term minters will come back, and they will try to sell into the rally, but they can't sell quick enough because they have to wait. But I think the way to think about it is that Zen is a building block. It's like a Lego that builds other projects. We want other people to build things that burn Zen. And so far, with staking and the burn, we have burned about 20% of the supply in just 4 months. Actually, these NFTs only been out for 2 months, and staking the
And
same way.
staking
It's
only
not
been out for 3 months
even
or
less.
something like that, no?
Well, staking's NFTs came later. The NFTs that are unicorns and all that came first, and then it was staking. And
Yeah.
altogether combined, 20% supply is either locked or burnt, which is very, very healthy, and we can see it on the charts. So this will continue with new projects that come in into our ecosystem.
It's very interesting to compare the yin-yang effect, so to speak, on the different chains. This NFTs in Polygon, not so long ago, it's already burned, I think, more than 20% of the supply.
Crypto Brew here saying
One.
DB Zen burned
Or two.
1.8 trillion M Zen in 3 days. That sounds
Right.
good.
Well, if you bring up the chart for MZen, you're gonna see that I think it went 3x from the bottom. So MZen is a big rally.
And
Yeah,
Jack, I think
I'm saying it's big rally. And Ethereum Xen just made a new all-time low today, what I know. It first time it touched the 6 zeros.
Yeah, congratulations to us all. I mean, I thought it would be zero forever, but they just cannot get to zero quick enough.
Yeah, well, what I know, the maximum what Uniswap can handle would be 32 zeros. So we have still like plenty of room to go.
Plenty of room.
No, but nice. And my
Yeah,
last question would be, what are your thoughts on the Ethereum gas fees going in the future?
My thoughts of the Ethereum gas fees going in the future.
The thing is, if
Yeah,
Ethereum
might they
price
come
goes
down,
up,
or will they? Yeah.
if the price of ETH goes up, the GUI goes up on the network, let's say in the bull market, then the difficulty of minting is going to increase accordingly as well, right? So that's.
Do you guys
also
already do you guys already see like increased penalties? And do you guys already see increased penalties would be my first question. And my second question in regards to that would be, if a wallet never claims his Xen, are they in the penalty section, or are they just like out of the game and not even in this chart?
Never been minted. So they never added
Okay,
to
so
the supply. Now Zen Turbo, they do track the penalties as if they existed, but we know that they never been created and never added to the supply because users never come to mint Zen. Now I know it's controversial. I actually think high gas is healthy for the security of the network.
Why healthy for the security? I thought you will go ahead and say like healthy for the price, because that's why what I agree on. But why for the security?
So think about it this way. Let's say that Ethereum gas price was same as Polygon. then there would be no validators on the network having any incentives, because and it will actually make the network less secure. Now, Polygon is less secure than Ethereum. Ethereum has 50,000 validators, and Polygon only has 100. And BSC has 21, even less.
Yeah.
So the network with the highest gas fees have the most incentives and have the most participants that make the network more decentralized, which is actually more connected with the original Satoshi's vision of the blockchain. You want the blockchain to be incentivizing the security so that everybody's funds are safer and there's no central actor that can change the price. So, for example, BSC can roll back transactions, can blacklist your projects anytime they want, because they own all of the nodes.
They can shut down the entire chain as well. We already saw that as well. What I know.
Yeah. Now Ethereum cannot do it because they have so many players.
Not now. So they were able to do it like 3-4 years ago, but now they just grown to such a huge size that it's not possible anymore to kind of roll back the chain or like make another Ethereum classic.
So what's really interesting is that there's a parallel with Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum in this case. So the gas and transaction fees, I mean, obviously BTC does not have gas, but they have transaction fees. They're cheaper than Ethereum. They're cheaper. So you can send your Bitcoin wallets for about 30 cents if you want. Now, the Bitcoin guys, they say that once the Bitcoin is completely mined and the mining amount becomes negligible, all of the miners' rewards will come from the fees. So the team and the community of Bitcoin actually want higher fees for Bitcoin to give miners more incentives to continue to mine and continue to secure the network, even though they're not getting as much Bitcoin. Now, it's great for investors because obviously the more security you have on the chain, the more stable and more appreciating the value of the coin itself will be. Like if something is very, very unstable and controlled by one person, anytime they tweet something wrong, the whole thing crashes. Now, Satoshi cannot tweet because he doesn't exist, I guess, or maybe he is not available. Maybe he's on some different planet. We don't know. The point is that nobody can really.
My speculation would be that he is dead. Let's
just
go with that.
Yeah. So I think the most secure network has the best incentives, and the gas has to be high enough to secure the value of the whole network. So that is why I feel like for Bitcoin, we want to have more expensive transactions. Now, there's other solutions like Layer 2 and Arbitrum and Optimism. I think those are viable solutions. I think the security of the chain as a settlement layer is the most important thing. The transactional application layer can be cheaper based on the technology implemented, but it should have a different, separated, sharded infrastructure. So that's my philosophical.
Okay. Yeah. Good philosophical thought. So now we are already like nearly at the 2-hour mark. So thank you so much, guys. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience, Jack or Xensu?
I think A-Bit has the best shirt I have ever seen that has pulse chain.
Thank you.
That is what I will say in conclusion.
Thank you, Jack and Zenzu, so much for being here, for taking time off your vacation to educate us here on Zen, on crypto in general, because this is what Zen has become, right? It's a tool for us to educate the people about all the different sections in crypto. It's not only one part, which is smart contracts. It's actually the whole ecosystem. And just newly Bitcoin came in to this ecosystem as well with the Ordinals. I'm really excited to learn about all of this. And when you mentioned the price, you were talking about that there are so many factors like founder, like community, like people like Zen being devs and building more stuff, more and more and more. And this is what everybody is excited about when it comes to Zen. So thanks again for being here. Thank you to you guys in the chat. So if you got a lot of value out of the stream, please do not forget to like and subscribe. And my last words here go to Case Beeline. What are your last words?
Yeah, so thanks to you guys for being here. Thanks for the moderation, Abid. Thanks for the guys in the chat for asking so much cool questions and be here with us. I hope you enjoyed it. I learned a lot today. It's always it's always a learning experience when you chat with Jack, I need to say. I liked it a lot, and hopefully we will do that soon again in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for bringing us on, and let's do it again soon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, perfect. Ciao, everybody.
Ciao.
Ciao.